Hey everyone, so welcome to another Surnames interview. So today I have Tessa with me, and she's a very good friend of mine, and she's doing SEO for like more than a decade, and is a real expert on age domains. So Tessa, I really welcome you on this channel. So how are you doing?
Hey everyone, thank you Sumit for having me here. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. When you said decade, I felt old, but happy to be here. Happy to talk about SEO and niche sites.
Yeah, so that's it's really nice to have you here. So why don't you just tell something about your experience with age domains, and then because today in this interview it's going to be really special as we will discuss the entire strategy of a successful affiliate site built on an age domain. So let's start with some of your experience, like how did you get started with age domains and like everything.
Okay, so when I was thinking about that question, I forgot. Because the first answer was, oh, this is my first time. But when I kind of looked back to my old experience building niche sites, in fact, I had an experience using an H domain, kind of like a repurposed one. Back in the days, we didn't call it H domain, I guess. It's kind of like you're repurposing it. So in 2000, I think it was 2010, 11, that I bought a site that is quite aged, and it has some links, and then I repurpose it to become a craft blog. It was good at first, true enough, because it had already links. It skipped the sandbox, and it started ranking. But I was so stupid because I did. And back in the days, all of those crazy link building. I've done all those stuff, anything that we could test. We tried that in the past, so I tried it, and it's kind of like in the first 2 to 3 months it was okay because I was able to rank the sites on page 1 higher than some of because I also built squidoo lenses around the niche to test how I could easily rank it. True enough, it surpassed the squidoo lenses hub pages, but because of the bad links that I built, eventually Google caught up with the system that I'm doing, so it got de-indexed.
Okay, yeah, that's quite good, actually. So you told me this is your first time with H domain.
Technically it's not. It's my second time building an actual site. I bought H domains in the past from you, but I haven't had a chance to work with it. But with actually working and developing a site, this is my second time after how many years? Because I built that first one in 2010. So it's 2021, so it's like after 11 years, I tried again. And this time it worked. I'm so happy.
This is quite impressive. You're trying this domain after 11 years, right? So why don't you just share something about your project, like how it's doing right now, and yeah.
Okay, so this project is a project or a brand owned by a friend that turned to be a client. Because last year we started helping other people, friends and families wanting to start their own niche sites. And this friend of mine, she wanted to build her digital portfolio, but she doesn't have the time to study SEO. And I said to her, okay, why not? I'm gonna help you, and then it could be a good case study. So we started working last year. It's last August when I started, but this is an H domain that she bought from you. When I checked it, the domain was fantastic. It has some good relevant links, and she started putting some content just so it would not, lay dormant for a long time. And I think, in fact, she worked with someone to start building some content. But when we started working together, I saw that there are some gaps and some improvements to be made, at least for my own strategy, because our strategy is it's a bit different on what the past guy that she worked with was doing. So we saw some potential, and then I said to her, hey, if you're going to be willing to work with us and be consistent in the next, I think at least in the next 3 months, I think there is enough insights that we could get for you to decide if you want to continue working with us or if you want to continue doing SEO on the site. and I'm so happy that it's not even 3 months. It was like first month that we put up content, we saw some good results, and after 3 months, and then after 6 months, I think just after 4 months, there's like huge growth that we're able to see. And since 2022, everything is doing really well, fast. She's growing really fast. Her brand is really growing fast, too fast than what we expected.
Okay, so like it's been like 9 months, and she chose to work with you because she doesn't have time. I think she is doing a full-time job, I guess.
So she's
okay.
she's
So
doing a full-time job.
okay, so like she didn't have like proper experience with SEO, so she chose to work with you, and you provided your SEO services, and like within 9 months, the site just like boom.
Yes, actually,
Right?
it was like August. Or if I'm already okay to discuss the actual strategy. So we started working in August, so we did some audit, cleaning up, and then we did some keyword research gap. And so August, September, by the end of September, we already have some content outsourced to our writers. And then I think the first batch of content went live last week of September, October, if I'm not mistaken. Then those contents started ranking after less than a month. So her earnings and traffic have improved by the time we are on the third month, August, September. So November, there's already a huge spike in traffic and in income. I think almost, I don't know if I remember it right, almost 200, 300%. And that's the reason why she decided to kind of like continue. And December is like we already hit. I forgot when she hit 1K per month. I think it was within less than 6 months of working together, she already hit 1K. Because right now she is actually earning more than that.
Oh yeah, that's really impressive. Like within 6 months, you guys like able to cross like $1,000 per month, right?
Yes.
So
I think more.
So yeah, that's possible. So like speaking of the revenue traffic, like do you know like what was the last month's stats?
What traffic did we start?
Yeah,
Last
traffic
month?
and the revenue.
Last
like,
month,
yeah,
if it's
like,
last month, it was, I think we already crossed 100K per month traffic users. And
okay.
Page views in session, around 100K. And then the income, I think it's already 6K last month. Yeah,
wow. So
6K.
like $6,000,
Yeah.
$6,000 in like April alone, right?
Yes, for this
And, like,
for this year alone, since January to April, I think it's already 10K. She surpassed her income, combined income from that site, meaning Amazon and ads. It's already 10K. 10K.
Okay, so like she's doing like you guys are doing both affiliate and like ads.
Yes, both affiliate and ads. We started doing ads, I think around December. Yeah, December. And then when we hit the 50K mark, we transferred to Mediavine. We started using Ezoic for a couple of months, and then I forgot when did we switched to Mediavine because we asked her to do it because that's her account. So yeah, I think it's around March or Feb, but we asked her to transfer as soon as we surpassed the 50K, because it was kind of like a huge jump. It wasn't like slowly change on traffic. It's really huge, like kind of like 200%, 300% change in traffic. So we're really impressed.
Yeah, like I mean, like you guys are doing like $6,000 per month, like in such a short period of time. So I'm really curious, like how did you guys do that? Like, did you focus more on the content strategy or the link building strategy or like something else?
Well, my strategy per se since 2009, and this is how I learned SEO. It's really heavily based on the content. So, I mean, it's a cliche, but content is king. It hasn't changed. Nothing has changed in doing SEO. Content is really the bread and butter of building a good site, because, well, come to think of it, it's all about brand. It's all about how you reach your audience, and you reach your audience using content. So we kind of like find the gaps in the market right now, in the niche that she is in. And we kind of like do like, because I've learned in SEO, I forgot what's her name. I'm gonna research on that, because I learned that although this is already my strategy, but I was so happy that other SEO specialists also use this kind of mindset when we do keyword research or kind of like content planning. You have like long-term and short-term strategy, and of course, as someone who is working with a client, you want the client to understand that is there enough reason or is it worth it to continue doing this project. And if it's a client, it's so hard to kind of like motivate them unless they see something result, like a quick kind of like result. But we all know that it's not a 24-hour thing, overnight thing. But at least in the next 3 months, you want to see some movements in rankings, or like at least some traffic increase. So we did some short-term strategies that we had, short-term topics that we had, that we're so confident that regardless if it's an H domain or not, it's going to rank. So I'm pretty sure there's a big push that this site is really an H domain. But the strategy that we do, because this is our second time working with a real H domain in this, it's already a trend, H domain. But our strategy also, I haven't built an H domain since 10 years ago, but what we do is build and rank sites from scratch. And our strategy that we use for this site, for this H domain, is the same strategy that we use to grow our sites from scratch. So I know that given the potential of this site, it's going to be doable regardless. So when I found those gaps, we immediately outsourced it to our writers and made sure that it's going to be there less than a month. And true enough, less than a month of pushing that live button or publish button for those content, they ranked. And that is without doing link building or without promoting heavily the site. Well, part of it because it's an H domain with good relevant links. It has some really good links. So I don't want to mislead anyone that it's kind of like it's a very easy project. But to be honest, because the domain itself is a good H domain with good backlinks, and because we use the site for what it was intended to be used, meaning we used it for the same niche that it was used originally. So up to this point, Google doesn't, or I'm assuming Google doesn't know that that is not the same owner, because it's already a new owner. But the niche and the business, technically, it's still the same. So we're still, milking, for the lack of a better term, we're still milking that link building juice out of those original links that they got, the past owners.
Yeah. So, so relevance plays a big role here. Like, you guys have repurposed a domain in the exact relevance like it used to be, right?
Exactly.
So, Google just Google just gave the preference to your domain and rewarded with the SEO rankings and traffic, right? So this is a really nice strategy. And I also agree, content is still the king, right? So yeah, speaking of the content, many people ask this, especially on the H domains, how many articles it takes usually to rank. And I know it depends upon the niche and everything. So for this site, how many articles you guys have published and with what frequency? Can you share something about that?
Yeah. So I told every one of my clients that if they're not into, or that's a rule in our sites, on all of our sites in the back end. If we could not grow a site at least 16 posts per month, where the ideal for us is 25 posts per month or more, of course, we're not going to pursue it, because we've seen that there are a lot of case studies done about blogging, content velocity and whatnot, content distribution. Nick and Bohan and Gordana have a lot of case studies about that. Blogger industry has these case studies where they said that content velocity is important. And also, of course, it goes by the quality of it, but still content velocity matters. So with this blog, I convinced my friend to kind of commit to the 25 posts per month. So August, September, October, November, December, January, Feb, March, April. So 25 times 9, that is how many? Oh my God, my math skills. I think that is 89.
200, 225?
Yeah,
I guess.
around.
I
So
don't know.
25 posts
Okay.
since August. We've been continuously publishing that.
So like you guys have published more than 200 articles
I
so
think,
far, I
sorry,
guess?
stand corrected. We started 16 in the first 3 months. 16 posts in the first 3 months. Then from October, we ramped up
Oh,
to
no,
25. I forgot. But yeah, pretty much around, I think, yeah, that's quite a good estimate. 200 posts right now. We already published 200 posts, around 200 posts by now.
Okay, that's really good. That's really good. So like, do you have any like words range, or like you just write it in a flow? Like what's the strategy on that?
Well, of course, since this automation have started, people are using phrase, server SEO and whatnot. My team is trained to use those tools as a gauge on how many words we would work on, but we don't use server SEO to kind of like compute LSI and whatnot, all of those jazz. We don't do that. And our writers are just writers, meaning we provide content briefs to address the SEO part of it. But then we give it to our writers, then the writers just follow the content brief. So they write naturally. They don't know SEO. And we don't ask them to write on our server SEO or use phrase. They don't know those tools. But my specialist and I would really make sure that our content brief pretty nails down the SEO part of it, meaning proper H2 tags, good H3 tags, and relevant questions and other related queries, so we could add up to make that content the most epic guide out there. So, well, the mantra is always write as much as we think that the readers need for that specific topic. But if you're going to ask me how do I compute it, or how do I kind of like if I give a number? So it's always like, now we use phrase. We go to phrase, and my favorite is through, by the way, THRUU by Samuel. I use that heavily when I gauge the number of the words. But that said, it's not set in stone. Sometimes they give crazy numbers. Like, for example, phrase or through might said, oh, use 3,000 words. But when I look on page 1, it doesn't warrant a 3,000 word article. No, we're not going to follow that. Let's just do 2,000 words. Yeah, at least 1,500 to 2,000 words if I'm testing and following my call. And the minimum, if it's a product review, I target 2,000, 1,500 to 2,000, because I think it's decent. And then I see how it ranks. Then as months or days pass by, I adjust and do some, adjustment if there's a need to adjust the number of words.
Okay. Okay. So like you guys don't use any like SEO tools, right?
We use SEO tools like Ahrefs and Phrase when we do the content brief, but our writers don't use them.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So let's move to the link building strategy. Like, have you built any links so far? And if yes, like what kind of links you built?
Just purely Haro now. I used to do guest posting. Back in the days, I used to build and do PBNs, but I don't use them anymore. Guest posting, I think the last guest posting I built was 2 years ago. We're now heavily investing or doing our own Haro. We do Haro because last year we started offering Haro services as well. So we focus on that, and we also do some digital PR kind of premium thing. But with this site, we were able to do some good Haro link building for her. So I think we've already gotten like 15 solid links or placements for her from Haro. So that just purely Haro and really good outreach, not guest posting.
Okay. Yeah. So so far you have built only like 15 links,
Yes.
I guess. Okay, so 15 links and like no other link building and just pure content strategy to achieve these results, right?
Exactly.
Okay, that's really impressive.
So in average, at least 2 links since we started, because August we didn't count. So from September, so October, so at least 2 links, 1 to 2 links per month. in the past 9 months, because it's already, I think it's more than 15 right now, but yeah, around that mark.
Okay, okay. So I guess this strategy, like these results are mainly because of the content strategy, not the links.
Yeah, because
Right?
really like I've said, the short-term strategy keywords or topics that we've used are really not that competitive. So meaning, even if I use a site with no links or with no history, or meaning a new site, maybe it would take me 6 months or so to hit that ranking. But because it's an H domain, it was way faster. I mean, it's just it's less than 1 month. We were able to rank it. It's in less than 1 month. But yeah, so I think content this time really worked, and I still believe that links matters for this project. Why? Because the site already had some good links, and it continuously to attract good links because one, it's an established brand in the past, and it continuously do so in the eyes of Google because we didn't stop talking about the same niche. And the client is in the same business as well. So it's kind of like a continuation of that. So we are lucky to leverage that part. So really, I think it plays that H domain is in that perfect niche wherein the client's branding aligns. So all the link juice and all the what's that? Because the brand used to get some good links in the past. It used to get some good publications and whatnot, PR stunts in the past because of the nature of the business. So we're lucky to still, I guess we're still lucky to get, benefiting from the juice, if that's what SEO people would say. Yeah. So I really think that because the site has already authority. That's what I wanted to say. Authority because of all of these links. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's true. Then when H domain has those authority links, then it definitely provides a value like link juice, right? And when you build some additional links and do your content strategy, then it really helps in the rankings, right? So speaking of the H domain, so suppose you are starting another project, how are you going to select your H domain? Can you give you some of your tips? Maybe that will really help the viewers.
Okay, so when it comes to H domain, I would only do H domain if I could build a brand that would really resonate with the H domain. So meaning, for this project, it's kind of like a continuation. Even if the domain was offline for a few years, if it's going to be like a continuation of the brand, that's when I would try to invest. Or it's same thing, because right now our strategy is flipping an existing site, meaning we buy an existing site that's already earning and that's already established authority, and then we scale it and then we flip it. So it's kind of like buying an H domain, right? So we would only buy an H domain if it's really, really niche relevant to what we were going to build. And number two, if it has some decent links. And I guess vetting, how you vet for guest post site, that it's not used to be a linked farm before. It's not heavily spammed by those anchor texts and whatnot. And it has some good links. That's all that matters for me. And of course, if you check the Wayback Machine, that it doesn't have any, nasty or weird stuff in it. For example, a client of mine, we had a project early this year. They consulted me, and then I said to them, hey, because they're using an H domain, they didn't know that it was an H domain, but the domain was there when they registered it. So it was owned and it was dropped. And then when I did my research, I told them, hey, did you know that this is an H domain? And when I checked Wayback Machine, it has some interesting content on Wayback Machine that I'm not sure if you want to be associated with. Because it's a brand, it's a huge brand. They're trying to build a huge brand in the same niche. There's some of it really interesting content on the Wayback Machine that I think if I am the brand owner, I would want to know that, oh my, they use this in this topic. So yeah, I mentioned it to them. They said they're cool with that. So yeah, those kind of thing.
Yeah, so okay, so like these are some like great tips on age domains. Like relevance and strong links matters the most in age domains, right? And of course, the domain should not be spammed, right? And yeah, these are some great tips. And like there's one, I think there's one issue going on in the market. Like there's one indexing issue. Like people often ask me like if I see indexing issue with the age domains, or maybe like on the fresh domain. So do you have any like tips on that?
To be honest, I didn't have any because a lot of people were telling in the forum that they have a massive index problem and whatnot. But I have, well, maybe because we're not massively publishing content, but we're the max that we publish content in one site is 90 posts per month. But that said, even that, it just only takes us less than a month to see that those content are being indexed. So we didn't experience that per se, or because maybe because I'm not publishing a lot of content enough to experience it, because I've heard a lot of people, or I've seen a lot of niche site owners as well, publishing 1,000 posts per month. 1,000 posts. I could imagine if Google would not index it in an instant, I mean, because it's 1,000. But yeah, I don't have any except that, back in the days, I would just, tweet it or like put it on Facebook. What we do actually publish our content on Facebook page of that site. We don't do it on all of our sites though, but with this client, we did it on her Facebook page. But that said, even if we're not doing Facebook page or social links, we've seen our content being indexed eventually. We haven't seen those problem in the past. And again, maybe because I'm not publishing a lot of content like how everyone is doing right now. So I could not blame Google to have some delay, because really, if a lot of marketers, because of the AI factor, are publishing 1,000 posts per month, I could imagine the backlog. But yeah, sorry, I don't have any good answer for that.
That's okay. Yeah,
I
like,
think
this is like really simple.
one suggestion I could give is, because what we've always done in the past is do some internal linking. All of our posts are interlinked together. At least 3 links coming from the domain, so internal linking. So 3 posts, 3 links to that specific page. I don't know if that helps, because all of our pages are internal linked, and we have good internal linking, and we do we do content update as well. So yeah, that's what sorry.
Actually, like one person told me like internal link really helps in the indexing. So yeah, I think that's a great tip, and people can really follow it. And there's one more tip, and it was like if they build some links in the starting, then it really helps in the indexing as well. So it will just like revive the domain, right? So okay. I think there's just one last question I have. So suppose like someone is like, there are people like who wants to try age domains, but they're hesitant because of the risk associated. Like people say like age domains sometimes work and sometimes not, and which could be true. So how do someone justify that spending a few $1,000s on an age domain is worthy for building an affiliate site, or like they just should go for a fresh domain? Like, what do you think?
Well, I think if you find the perfect age domain for you with your metrics, meaning because for me my standard is if it's niche related, if it has some good links, and it was not spammy, or it wasn't used as a link farm before, then obviously for me it's worth it, because no questions asked, it would always surpass a new domain. Provided that it complies on all of the 3 categories that I said: niche relevancy, links, and it's not used as spammed, or it's not spam to death. So it would perform no matter what for me. If there's a chance that it would not perform, then chances are a new domain would not perform as well, right? If an age domain with good history and is very niche relevant to what you're building didn't perform, so what is the guarantee that a fresh domain would perform, right? Because technically,
yeah.
if it's, for me, in my own opinion, if it's clean and it's niche relevant, there's a lot of factors that would come into play. It might not be the fault of age domain that it didn't rank. Maybe it's because you need more content, or maybe because you targeted a keyword that's really competitive. So at the end of the day, if they didn't rank an age domain, it might not be the age domain's fault. There might be a lot of factors, because in SEO there's a lot of factors, and to be honest, it may be the case that they're not patient enough, because even if it's an age domain, it doesn't guarantee you that, oh, because it's age domain, I should wait for just 6 months and it should fly. No, I mean, the results would vary, and a lot of factors would come into play, not just because it's because of an age domain that is not working. Definitely, if the age domain is clean and is niche relevant, they should look at different reason why it's not ranking. Maybe because the competition is really stiff and it's not really that easy as easy as they thought. So yeah, there's a lot of factors, but I'm a person that's really really interested in working with age domain right now, because a lot of friends have seen good results, even if they're just redirecting it. We know a lot of people are testing the power of age domain when you redirect it. So I'm all for testing it as long as it meets my criteria.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like age domains, has a lot of factors, right? And if an age domain is not working, then it could be like any reason. And if you're choosing an age domain, then it has a higher possibility of working than a fresh domain, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that's all right now. Like I think we are going to release a written case study as well, like with detailed info, and like we are going to do this together. And so guys, if you have any questions, you can just drop in the YouTube comment section, and we will cover that in the case study. And Tessah, so you provided these SEO services to your a friend and client, right? Are you open to offering these services to other people as well? Like if they are starting on age domain and need some guidance, consultation, or maybe just SEO services?
It depends. I mean, right now we don't onboard clients that we don't. I mean, we only onboard clients if we think that the brand is something that we could kind of help. If it's a good fit, why not? But right now we want to help more women in this space. I want to help mommy bloggers and the women who are building their blogs. That's the reason why this project has a very special place in my heart, because my friend is a woman, and she's been trying to understand SEO. And I believe that there should be more women in the SEO space, more women in the niche building space. So if there's any moms or any women out there listening to your podcast that they could not rank their sites, we're really, we are really wanting to help them. So yeah, shoot us an email, because we might as well help them. But it's just we would only help if we could, and if that's something that we're if we're the best fit. If not the best fit, I have a lot of friends doing client SEO, agency SEO, so I always refer them to other friends. But yeah, I truly believe that SEO should be something that we should do with professionalism and respect. I don't just do a project just because of the money. I always see to it that I could help and I could add value to the table for the client. So if they want, they could shoot us an email. And we try our best.
That's really good. So can you share how they can contact you? Apart from email ID, I will just drop that in the description box.
Yeah, they could check our site, the SEOmama.com, and we have that free strategy call link. They could book a call, and then we would contact them if we see that we're a good fit.
Okay, that's really great. I will drop everything in the description, and I hope more people like your friend get help and just they build a successful website on HTML, right?
Yeah.
So Tessah, it was really nice talking to you. It was a fantastic interview, and we shared some like great stuff with the audience, and I think they love it, right? So, guys, just drop in the comment section if you have any questions, and Tessa and I will be like really happy to help you, and we will be looking forward to our like case study, right?
Thank you, everyone.
So thank you, Tessa. So I wish you like have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.